This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. And folks, here we are, December the 30th, 2022. We're almost to the end of her. But you know what? We still have some great things to see in these last 2 days. And we have a wonderful guest returning tonight. I had her on last year, loved her. And here she is, some really cool red hair on her today. And I have her shirt to show off here. Yes, I'm talking about Lydia Manson. How do you do, Lydia?
I love it. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful, Great to see you. Boy, I love the hair. You got some black in there, you got some red. Wow.
Little
I
wig I
love
picked up
that.
from Amazon.
What's that?
Just a wig I picked up from Amazon.
Oh, it's a wig?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? You
I
have me.
wish this was my real hair. I wish.
You know what? You know what? That's fine with me. With some of the stuff I see people doing with their hair, I kind of just bought into it. But you know what? It looks good on you.
Why, thank you.
Yeah.
The
There you
throwback to
go.
the early 2000s emo phase.
It does look cool. I got to admit, for those listening, Lydia's got a red wig on that's got a little bit of gray and black in it. Uh, I thought it was her real hair, but if you see some
I'm
of the
not
stuff,
that cool.
yeah, you know what? It does look good. It goes with your shirt too.
Oh, thank you. This
There you
was
go.
actually the last movie that I filmed, so I thought it would be a little publicity for it.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Well, how have you been this year?
I've had a pretty rocky year, like mentally, so just trying to deal with that. I kind of like taking a step back from doing stuff. Like I used to do interviews all the time and was like always, what's the next part I'm gonna get? And it really takes a toll on you, and then doing this my own issue. So I'm trying to just focus on that and get better myself. Right. So that has been my year, basically, in a wrap.
You know what? I had a very rocky year too. On the plus side, I got a job at the hospital here where I'm doing housekeeping, so that's been going great. It's been good money. Um, and like I said, as of tomorrow, I'll have 170 interviews this year, which is my record.
Congratulations.
Yeah. On the negative, I lost dad in April, after ALS and and I had to pull away from the whole film thing as well. A lot of it had to do with 13 Fanboy and some of the garbage that came out of that and people running their dick lickers behind my back.
I
So,
realize that happens a lot with a lot of projects, unfortunately. It's really sad too, especially like when you put so much work into things and you realize that just like with any career or anything, people are maybe just out for themselves. But I decided that I'm going to go into 2023 and just stop caring about that because you know what they decide to do does not change who you and I are, and I don't want to continue to let others bring me down.
yeah. Yeah, I put 3K into 13 Fanboy and because of because I was trying to get people involved with the Doubtfire Face challenge. And by the way, thank you for taking part in that. That was a lot of fun.
I'm so I'm so sad. Like I thought it was going to be more on my face than it actually was, and that'll be a year ago tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it got you good. I think it was just the way the lighting was. But nonetheless, with 13 Fanboy, I got accused of being Judy Aronson's stalker, which considering the fact that I've never been to the States, that's pretty hard to do. I got accused of all kinds of shit by
It's
people
always
that want,
it's always
huh?
fun when I just said it's always fun when you find out more about yourself from people that have never met you than you ever thought you
Well, you want
would.
me to tell you the Judy Aronson story? Back in
Sure.
2016, I was given her contact info by Ted White, who we sadly lost this year. But I've had him on a couple of times, and he gave me the contact info for Kane Hodder and Judy Aronson. And I remember messaging Judy Aronson about it, and I noted in the interview with Ted where this all came up, because Ted was quite adamant that she'd love to do the show.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, she read the message on Facebook, never got back to me, and I must have posted it a couple times, so I left it be. And I never called on either of the numbers, but what had happened is in 2019, I had interviewed Dick Miller, who of course was in Gremlins as Mr. Futterman,
Mm-hmm.
and I interviewed him 5 months before he passed. And when he passed away, it was like, wow, like he wasn't even on my radar to have on the show. It was just I just reached out on a whim, wondering if I could get him, and I was very lucky. So I remember I reached out to Kane, got his answering machine, left a message, told him how I got his info, who I was, and what I was looking for. Never heard back. No problem. No problem. Judy Aronson, on the other hand, and this is where 13 Fanboy really fucked me over on this, but Judy, first time I called the number, she goes, she apparently I know this was her now, hindsight's 2020, but she was like, this is a wrong number. So I contacted Ted Boyd about it, and he said that's her number.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I didn't call her again until I was deep involved with 13 Fanboy, and then I gave her another call, and this time this person answering claimed to be her cousin. That was the last time I called her. Now the dickheads behind 13 Fanboy are saying I called her 22 times. Well, my phone records can prove differently. They never thought of that because they're so stupid.
Mm.
But it was Scotty McCoy. I think you might have been on his show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
he
Scotty.
did a yeah, great guy. He's coming on my show again for the seventh time in January, and he told me to reach out to people on Cameo about the Doubt Fireface challenge. So I did, and I had some success mainly in the wrestling community. But
Awesome.
huh?
I said that's awesome.
Yeah. So I threw it out to Judy Aronson on Cameo, and she seemed all for it. In fact, quite jealous that Ron Sloan had done it. But she couldn't do it at that point because of the pandemic. So a year later, I gave it another shot because Cameo had some discounts or whatnot. So I approached her again. This time, oh, all different. Oh, this is making fun of people with mental illness and all blah 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 blah. Like dumping ice water over your head over a disease that killed my dad. That was okay because it was trending.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny because I took a lot of shit from a lot of assholes who claimed that they had my back who didn't. And I'm talking about, your Vincent DeSantis, your Christopher Norris's, your Jason Bradford. He's the main culprit. And I think Debbie Sue Voorhees has a lot of regrets about this whole thing because there was some screenshots that came out that were sent to me by Orlando Rodriguez. And last year, Orlando came out, and I knew he had sent them to me because he didn't like how I was being spoken about behind my back. So that incident was probably my worst experience in 2022.
Hmm.
And so, they sent me the movie and I use it more mainly as a coaster. Now, luckily, there's some people involved in the film that's been very, very nice to me. Lar Park Lincoln, Tracy Savage, Ron Sloan are all still pretty cool with me. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of people there. I dare them, I challenge them to come to a con I'm at and say it to my face.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you none of them will. Is that similar to the kind of shit you dealt with in this too?
I've had, just issues where people not keeping up their word for things, and mostly things like that, like not holding up contracts, which is just really frustrating. And, you know, you get into this industry and you're like, oh my God, I have to do as many projects as possible to get my name out there. Or
Yep.
else who's gonna know who I am? And I'm going on my third year doing this now, and I'm like, nothing I've done has come out yet. And it's except for one story that I did, and that's why I have like the utmost respect for he's a close friend of mine now, Tom Benito. He was the director of a short that we did together called Christmas Judas, but it's not, you can find it on YouTube. It's a 10-minute short. Um, because we filmed it in November, like end of November, and he was done editing it in January. And I'm just like, but how is it all these other projects I worked on, I'm like, they still aren't out? And it, for me, it's like, I put in so much effort promoting, and then, there's so many Indiegogo's, and
Yep.
everybody's like, where's my purse? Where's my purse? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm literally not in charge of the purse. Like, I keep reaching out to the people that are, and I'm like, unfortunately, some of the things we can't see sent out until the film's out. And then I'm like, I just want things to come out so I can actually feel like I accomplished something at this point. Because right now I'm like, how can I really call myself an actress when you can't really see anything I'm in?
I hear you right there.
And I
I
completely understand post production takes a lot longer than people realize. Like, I get it.
mhm.
But at the same point in time, I'm just like, you know, I'm going on 3 years of this, and so I have a 10-minute short out. I'm like, I keep trying to apply for roles, and they're like, oh, where's your reel? And I'm like, I don't have a reel yet.
Well,
It'll happen.
it's funny because I've got projects now. Like, I'm starting to hear weird stuff about Z Dead End, which I have
Oh,
my.
that is a whole can of worms there, my friend.
Oh, really? Oh my
Oh yeah.
goodness. I first heard something about Noelle Berger with it back sometime last year, or maybe it was earlier this year. And I let go because I had the director on the show. And now I'm hearing a lot of. Now, I haven't said anything to the director. He was on the show. I don't like to create friction with my guests if I can avoid it. Although with 13 Fanboy, that's been difficult. But I'm like, is Z Dead End gonna be another project that, like, I put money into that? This is where I'm at. I work at a hospital. I work very, very hard, um, especially doing terminal cleans for over the pandemic. And it's like, I can't throw my money away on these projects that are basically either A, not going to come through, or B, taking advantage of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I know that I just saw that somebody had posted. I believe it was yesterday or the day before, um, that they had sent out an update on ZZN on
Oh,
on the Indiegogo. It was not a great update. There, people were commenting a lot about how there was like a lot of misspellings and stuff. But um, now, again, I have nothing to do with this movie. I'm in no way part of it. I was on set for one day because I am friends with Bill Diamond, and they were filming at Bill Diamond's studio, which is not that far from my house, and he invited me to come spend the day while they were filming. So I was there on set for one day, and Kane Hodder was filming that day, so was Felissa Rose and Dave Sheridan and Robert Lazardo. So they were all, I got to see all them. So I know for a fact like scenes were filmed because I saw it. But
Well,
other than
that's
that,
promising.
it's they in the update that was sent out, they said that a new trailer is being worked on. So hopefully people will be seeing updates. But I know a lot of people are very upset about that project.
I don't know. I put money into it. I think it was one of the last movies I put money into, and I had Robert Restro, the director, on the show, and I don't know. I'm hearing stuff now, but I don't check all the time. It's like I dip my part and I just wait. So I hope it comes out. I love the title Z Dead End.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of great cast in it. But I mean, if he's had Kane Hodder, Dave Sheridan, Felissa Rose, and people like that on set, okay, that's promising.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to remain optimistic on the Z Dead End right now. You know, um, but yeah, 13 Fanboy turned out kind of bad for me, and I got accused of pushing the Doubtfire Face challenge. But you know what? I thought that was a great challenge everybody can relate to. And
I think it's always, like we talked about it before, I'm a huge advocate for mental illness. Um, so I think anything that helps draw attention to it is needed, you know, especially in this industry because, as far as like crew members go and actors and actresses, directors, so on and so forth, it's like the highest rejection rate, I think, in any profession. And it messes with you. It's like, I'm not good enough, or I'm not thin enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not strong enough. There's so many, it's everything. And it really gets to you.
yeah, so you know, I just didn't want to be one of these things where this thing doesn't take off because number one, I didn't start it, but it's like because I'm not famous enough to be asking people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, what a knock to a person's self-esteem. But I want to thank you for doing it. That was a lot of fun, and you were a wonderful guest. And I hadn't seen you online for a long time this year. Was you taking a hiatus?
I did. I had deactivated my Facebook for almost a couple of months. I just needed to take a step back and just even part of me now is like, this is something I really want to do, because it's overall very toxic. And you know my like I how I was raised is you put 110% into it, and you don't get 110% back, which I mean happens in a lot of careers, and I'm not saying I want accolades or anything like that. I just um like like I said, nothing's come out yet. I'm like, I just want to see the fruits of my labor, and it's just, I'm like, I just don't know if this is for me or not. I'm still testing the waters, I guess. So for me, taking a break from social media, it helped a lot with my mental health. It did. You know, I had a few people reach out. They were like, "Oh my God, I haven't seen you post in a while," and I'm like, "Yeah, just needed to take a step back from it all because it just gets to be too much."
Yeah. Well, I think you're plenty cool. Like I said, even that wig you have on, I think is really cool. You got class. I like that the thing that's on your beanie there. I think that's really
It's
cool.
just like a safety pin.
Well, yeah, but it looks cool. You got class. Now, of course, let's show this shirt off again. Look at
I
that.
know. Look
Look
at
at
that.
that.
Thank you
Yeah.
for supporting me and getting that shirt.
Yes, actually, you know what? Of course, I can't wear this while I work at the hospital, but I have worn it at the hospital whenever I get changed and leave. Yep. No, I was happy to support you, you know. You did a doubt for our phase challenge. I was happy to give back, you know.
I appreciate
Like, yep, yep. But nonetheless, I was looking on Facebook today and saw pictures of you with somebody I got to get back here at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it. The little angel.
Oh, yep, Ms. Bradford. Yep, she was supposed to be with us today. That was
I
from
like
that.
Angel Bradford. I've had her back on last January. Um, I don't know when I'm going to have her back. I definitely want to have her back, but
Yep, I actually haven't talked to her in a long time, but she's super busy. She's always on some project, so that's really great for her. Um, it's always really great to see people that especially ones you've spent time on set with, continue to get work, and it's just really great, and I'm really happy for her.
I think she's funny.
Yeah. She's great for to be around.
Yeah, yeah, but no, she's a lot of fun, and but you've had some projects that I was involved with Reunion from Hell, and you're in Reunion from Hell too. Is that out yet?
So Hayden, the director, is actually going to be doing the premiere for Reunion from Hell 2 on January 13th or 14th. I'm I believe it's the Saturday night, which would be the 14th, I think. And it's in
Hmm.
Nashville, Tennessee. So if anybody's in Nashville, Tennessee, and wants to go to the theater and see the premiere of Reunion from Hell 2, you can get your tickets now. Um, Lisa Wilcox is going to be there, and as is Danny Hassel, and they're going to be doing Q&A after the film. So it's going to be really great. The the band that wrote a song called "Reunion from Hell" for the film. They're going to be there. I don't think they're going to be playing live, but I've talked to people that met them in person and they're really great. So it should be a really exciting night. I get to play Elena in the film, so and for me it's really great because so this is the first movie that Mark Patton, Lisa Wilcox, Danny Hassel had all done together, and I so I have the little claim to say that I'm the only actress that has been on film in scenes with all three of them at the same time. Until they
Isn't that
decide to do
awesome?
another film together, you know. So for this moment in time, I get to do that. But the premiere is in just a couple of weeks. I did ask Hayden, like, is it going to be like available for DVD like right after? And I think it'll probably be about a month or so. Don't quote me on that time frame though. But hopefully not too soon after that it'll be available for people. I know that I was the DP Sam Hodge. He was talking about streaming services that they were looking to get the film on, so you won't have to just get the DVD. You'll be able to stream it. So
Oh, I
that
want the
would be really
Blu-ray.
exciting. Oh yeah.
I got the first one on Blu-ray, and I was actually impressed. I was really impressed with Hayden Newman. I was like, I didn't expect Hayden to give a performance as good as he gave.
Well, wait till you see part two because it
Yeah.
only gets crazier. It's a lot more emotional from there. Introduce new characters. You see a few old ones. So, you know, you're in for a ride for when you see that one.
Well, you know what? I'm looking forward to it. I don't have my name on that one, with what I've been doing this year, work at the hospital, I haven't gotten involved with anything. And like I said, 13 Fanboy kind of soured me towards getting involved. And then when I hear about some of these other projects that are folding that I have my name on, and I just don't have the will to get
It
involved
really
with it.
it does take a lot, and I noticed that that was one of my issues this year too. Was I lost a lot of my passion for it.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
but I did manage to film three movies this year. One of which was Reunion from Hell 2.
Uh-huh.
I was also in a film called Rip Part 2 slash Part 3, which is basically it's Rip Van Winkle. And so I get to play a girl. Her name is Lady. So that it should be out soon. It's by Wild Eye Distribution, so that should be coming out soon. And then of course Macabre Mountain that I'm representing right now. But I got to film Macabre Mountain back in September, and that was a lot of fun because most of the films that I had filmed so far were mostly like, okay, we're running out an Airbnb and this is like where we're filming, which is awesome because like you get really close with everybody. But for Macabre Mountain, we actually got to film um, at a hotel, at a bar, at a cornfield, and a haunted house down in Buchanan, West Virginia, and that has Robert Mukes in it from House of a Thousand Corpses, Melissa Rose, of course, from Sleepaway Camp, and about 200 other films because she's just amazing. Everybody wants her in her film.
I met
So
Felissa at Frightmare in the Falls. I haven't yet got her on here, and I know she said she's going to do the show, but she's like, I don't know where she has time to breathe.
I said the same thing to her because I had met her at New Jersey Horror Con, I believe
Yeah.
twice, two or three times before we actually got to film together. And like I've done conventions, I've done probably a handful of them now, and they are exhausting. And I did them with months breaks in between, and she does them all the time, and I'm like, how do you do it? And then to work with her on set was just awesome too because she literally she comes in and she was just like, "Good morning, everyone!" Like the happiest person ever, and she's just like looking out for everybody, and I'm just like, "How did you do it?" Like she was really awesome to work with. Also got to Elsie Holt was on that project, from your next, and he's got a film coming out with Felissa and Mark Patton called Watchdog. So Macabre Mountain is slated to come out in September of 2023. So that one I think is going to be really exciting.
You know what? When I met Felissa, here's how cool she was. Um, I got a picture signed for my brother who was at the time looking after our folks.
Mm-hmm.
And she did a shout out for my brother on, video shout out, which I thought was really cool. Um, I thought she was a delight. And she was nominated by Sandy Johnson from Halloween to do the Doubtfire Face challenge. And I
Mm-hmm.
showed her the video because Sandy, her husband was dressed up as Michael Myers when he put the pie in her face.
Mm-hmm.
And Felissa loved it. And she said, absolutely, yes. Now, she hasn't done it yet, and I kind of get it. It's like, like when did she have time to breathe?
I don't know how she does. I honestly don't know how she does it. I know she just filmed. She got to be in the Forest Hills with Shelley Duvall's new film that is in. So, I mean, that in of itself is awesome. So, I always tell everybody if you're ever at a con, if Melissa is there, she is probably one of the greatest meet and greets. Especially if you go to a few cons and you stop in her line, she remembers people. I don't know
Oh
how
yeah.
she does it, but she remembers. And I'm like, props,
I
my
had
friend.
that experience with Laura Marie Taylor this year at Frightmare in the Falls. I had her on the show back in April, I believe, and she also did a Doubtfire challenge on Facebook, or not Facebook, on Cameo. But when I met her, she recognized me right away, and it was kind of cool, and very, very receptive. And very friendly. It's always nice, and I've had people say they never remember you. Yeah, they kind of do.
Mhm.
Yeah, Um, let's talk about that for a little minute here. Who's some of the favorite people you've met at cons besides Felissa?
Um, I got to meet Lita Ford. She
Wow.
was a lot of fun to meet at a con. And you could tell that she actually like really cared about, like she has no idea who she's meeting. And you've been to cons, like normally they'll just take a picture with you and it's one and done and you're gone. But Lita sat there and she was like, okay, well let's do this pose next and let's do this one. And I'm just like, oh my God, you're like literally a rock star and we're throwing up the horns together right now. Like
I
I thought that was
remember
really
Lita. Yeah.
I thought that was really cool that, she actually really took time with people that, she was meeting. So that was a good one for me. Um, so it was the same convention. It was New Jersey Horror Con, and it was the same weekend that we had filmed Kiss Me Judas. So Tom D'Amico was like, oh, like we'll go to New Jersey Horror Con. And I was fangirling out so hard because Kimberly Brown was there. And I don't know if you know who that is, but she's from Halloween Town. And I grew up watching that movie. So for me to meet her, I was fangirling, and Tom was laughing at me the whole time. He's like, Lydia, I've never seen you like this before. And I'm like, shut up. Like we got in line and she was at lunch. So we waited and I was like, I'm number 2 in line. I am not leaving. I don't care how long she's eating for. I'm sitting right here. And I got up to her. I didn't know what to say. I'm just like, I it's she's like, how do you want me to sign it? And I was like, whatever you want to write. Like to me, meeting her was awesome. Fei Ling was a lot of fun to meet.
Fei
Um,
Ling, yes.
yes, yes, because one of my favorite horror films is actually it's a Japanese anthology called Three Extremes, and one of the short films in it is called Dumpling, and Fei Ling is one of the leads in that short film. It later became its own film, and I told her how much what a fan I was of Dumpling, and she was so excited because I don't think a lot of people had seen it. So she was just really excited that I knew about it. So then that made me excited, and I was just like, oh my God. So those really stand out to me. Um, Vernon Wells is really
Oh,
awesome
I
to meet
met him and
in
interviewed him.
person. Yep. We were doing it was actually the convention that Angel and I were at, the Cult Classic, uh, earlier this year in Bastrop, Texas. And when Vernon had we were all hanging out in the lobby of the hotel that everybody was staying at, and it was the night before the convention. And Vernon came in, and I wasn't really paying attention to who was who. And he's standing like right next to me. And I told him, I was like, you know what? I was like, we're gonna be besties by the end of the weekend. Just because I was like, whatever. And he like does a lap around talking to people and he comes back and he's like, what did you say we were gonna be by the end of the weekend? Lovers? And I was like, if that's what you want, Vernon, that's what it shall be. And the next day Angel and I were just sitting at our table promoting the House of East Blessed, and Vernon came over and he gave us each a kiss on the cheek, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is so awesome. And we also got to meet JJ Cohen at um, at that convention. JJ, he's been in all 3 of Back to the Future films. He's one of only 6 people that have been in all 3. So that like that's really amazing. And he was in 976 Evil, which was directed by Forrest Robert England. And me and JJ, we still keep in contact today. He sent me a couple of his shirts, his York Army, he likes to call his fans, which is awesome. So, I've gotten to meet so many cool people that I never thought in a million years. Like I even went over the summer. I went to the drive-in there by my house, and they were showing Back to the Future, and I texted JJ, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm watching you right now. Like, like it was awesome.
I had that experience with Nancy McLaughlin. I attended a screening of Jason Lives in Toronto, and I texted her, I texted her and I said, I'm watching you right now on this big screen or something like that. No, I put a post on Facebook. That's what I did. I put a post on Facebook that I were watching Jason Lives. And the following day I was attending a Christmas party in Toronto and my phone rings and it's Nancy McLaughlin. And I said to her, I said, I was watching you last night. She goes, I know. Yeah.
Another good one too was Christy Swanson. Um, unfortunately, I never got a picture with her, but we were at New Jersey Horror Con, and it was after the convention was over. We were all just like hanging out at the bar, and I just was hanging out with Christy Swanson and her husband and a few of my other friends at the convention. Were just hanging out there that night, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm hanging out with like literally Buffy the Vampire Slayer right now, and I regret I never got a picture with her. So that was on my part, but it was really cool. And
I had
that
my experience with her
convention,
was bad.
oh no.
Well, she was one of these people I approached on the Doubtfire Face challenge. She was doing something on Cameo, where she was doing cameos to raise money for something to do with her daughter. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought, wow, let's kill two birds with one stone. So I pitched the Doubtfire Face challenge to her, and I said, if you don't want to take a pie in the face, it's okay. We, just, I forget how I worded it, but don't do the video if this offends you.
Mm-hmm.
She ended up doing the video, and she did not do the pie challenge. But and I was like, how it comes across to me, I was happy to support her daughter's cause, but at the same token, it's like it feels to me that the only reason that she answered is to get the money.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it came across to me. I'm glad she was cool with you, but she left a very sour taste in my mouth to the point where I probably won't meet her at a con, you know,
Oh, but that.
but I'm glad she was nice to you. It's just like some people at 13 Fanboy. Like I'm pretty sure there's people that's got nice experiences with them. Uh, um, there are certain ones I do not, but if I put money towards their project, and or in this case Cameo, don't be lazy like that. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. You'll have other people that will buy cameos off you. So I ended up losing money on a cameo I didn't even keep.
Oh.
Yep, I tossed it. It's like, you know what? Then I wrote you give star ratings, and I told her, I said, look, you didn't do what I asked. I said I didn't pay for this. I'm sorry, I'm not keeping it. So I'm glad she was cool with you, but I've been throwing out far fewer doubt face challenges because I've been burned way too many times, and I work way too hard for my money to get burned on this anymore. And it's basically it feels like I'm being told I'm not important enough to listen to. And I think you and I already talked about how that feels. We're not going to stand for it. They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like us. You know, some people are really good about it, but I'm glad you had a good experience with her. I'm not going to knock that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but personally, I'd much rather meet you than Christy Swanson.
I've met myself. I'm not that
Huh?
great. I said I've met myself. I'm not that great.
I think you're that awesome. I'd go meet you.
I my I always get nervous because everybody has so many like friends on Facebook, social media, and everything, and then
Hmm.
you meet them in person. And I always get nervous when I meet people for the first time in person because I'm like, am I living up to what you thought I was going to be? And that is the hardest thing for me because I I can be whoever I want online. Anybody can be whoever they want online. But when you're in person, that that's it. And I get such bad anxiety when I meet people because I'm like I hope that I am what they thought I was going to be, and I end up always just being super awkward in person.
Oh, don't
So,
worry about it. I'd go meet you if you were at a con I was at. I'd go meet you.
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you. Jeepers, I wouldn't have you on here again if I didn't.
Well, thank you for having me back.
Yeah, but I'll give you some recommendations of people to meet. John Rhys Davies from Raiders of the Lost Ark, he's well worth meeting. Corbin Burson is worth meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tom Matthews is fun if you ever get the chance.
Okay.
Yeah. Adrian King is nice. Um, I had the pleasure at Horrorama meeting Caroline Monroe. She was super awesome. I had her on my show back in 2016. Oh, to actually meet her, that I was amazed they got her at Horrorama. Loved her, and she was the busiest all weekend,
Mm.
you know. And of course, Lisa Langlois, who I've attended a con with, and from class of 1984, she's well worth meeting. Let me see. I did Frightmare in the Falls had so many people. I met Marky Ramone. That was really cool. Um, I'll tell you a funny story. I met Michael Berryman and Bill Moseley.
I met Bill Moseley. He was super awesome, and Barry Nunn was at the same con, and I just unfortunately just like never made it over to like his side of the room, and I really wish I did because I heard he's like so sweet and like so nice.
Well, they were sitting together when I met them. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't recognize Bill Moseley when I saw him because you're kind of looking for this shaggy beard,
Yep.
white hair guy that's so intimidating. Oh my goodness, he looks like one of the professors at Fredericton High School I used to know. Um,
Well, we get so focused on the characters that these people play that that's how we see them, you know. So
well,
then when we meet them in real life, we're like, you're just a regular, you're a regular person now.
I walked up to him and I said to him, I said, "Was Sherry Moon's zombie as gorgeous in person?" And he said, "That's a Michael Berryman question." So I looked at Michael Berryman and I asked him, and he said, looks up and he says, "She's absolutely stunning." And I said, "More stunning than Bill here?" He says, "Anything's more stunning than that." Bill Mosley's just standing there. He goes, "I thought we were friends."
That's awesome.
They were awesome. I met Harvey Stevens from The Omen, and his hair's all gray now, but he can't be much older than me because I was 4 when The Omen came out. So he was cool, and David Doughton from An American Werewolf in London was there. Met him, and oh, what? I'm messing on his name. He was in Scary Movie. The guy that had the small dick pics.
Oh,
Oh, frig. Oh, I ribbed him about that. I asked him how many times he gets asked to sign those. He says, hopefully never. But there were so many cool people that were there, and
there really are, and that's why I love conventions because it's like when other time would you be able to meet like the people you grew up watching, and I think it's really great that. there are so many conventions now that you can go to, so I think that was really great.
How do you and Angel do at these conventions? I noticed you've did at least one together because I know Angel always posts a bunch of pictures and
Phil and I only did one convention together. I've done a few conventions, but as myself, I think I've only done three. All of the other conventions I did, I was actually working at the trauma table.
Roma.
So I wasn't there like representing the film or anything. I was just there because, so as I mentioned, my friend Tom D'Amico, when I had met him, we were he was working for trauma at the time. He was actually Lloyd Kaufman's assistant. So he was at the trauma table, and then I was at the same convention representing the House of East West, trying to get more promotion for that film. And our tables were across from each other. That's how we got introduced. And about, I want to say a couple weeks after that convention, Tom called me and he was like, hey, we're going to be doing Monster Mania in Cherry Hill. He's like, would you want to come and hang out, like work the trauma table with us? He's like, you can promote yourself, like we'll give you like a little space on the table for you to promote the film and yourself. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I've gotten to do, I think, 3 or 4 different conventions just working with trauma. So that was a really great experience doing that.
I've interviewed Mark Torgo, of course, who was Melvin the Mop Boy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was he running around in his tutu around your table?
Mark was not, but there was a toxic Avenger running around. and you will not believe how like sweaty that mask is. So I feel really bad because the people that wear it, they wear it for a very long time, and I'm like, you got to be dying in there. But they put on a great show. Unfortunately, all of the times I've been there for trauma, Lloyd wasn't there. But I think today is actually Lloyd Kaufman's birthday. Um, it's today or yesterday. So happy birthday, Lloyd.
I've never had him on here, but I've certainly highlighted Toxic Avenger, and I know I've talked about who else? I know I've talked to other trauma people on here before, He immediately comes to mind, of course, because he was, of course, Bill Whedon was in one of the Toxic Avenger films as well, so I've had him on here. So, yeah. So during that time that you had a hiatus, what was going on with you and what made you come back?
Um, Honestly, I don't know. Like I had a few people reach out to me and they were like, I miss seeing your posts. And I'm like, how is it that like somebody that I've never even met before, like misses me and what I would post, because I never feel like I really post anything that's really of any importance or anything like that. And I had posted a random TikTok because sometimes whenever I do a cosplay, I'll film a bunch of videos and just save it to my draft and post it later on. And I posted like a random video on TikTok and somebody commented and they're like, oh my God, I'm so glad to see you posting again. And I'm like, I hate to tell you this, but this video is like really old. I just happened to post it. And I'm like, I mean, to me, I guess it was like, I felt like a part of me owed it to some people to come back and be like, hey, I'm here, I'm okay. Like, because there were people that were checking on me and I'm like, I'm okay. So I just wanted to be like, I'm here. And people still message me and they're like, you're not posting anything. And I'm like, I don't have anything to post about. So I'm just taking my time. I'm writing a lot more than I used to, just trying to get my emotions out, see how much that helps. So we'll see where that leads me, I guess.
You know, it's interesting because I remember Troy Elke had had asked where you was, you know?
Oh, I love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he sent me a text message the one day, and he was like, I haven't seen you on Facebook. I'm like, oh, I deactivated it. So, but Troy's
What
a
do you
great
think
guy.
if he had his beard dyed the colors of your wig?
I think he should do that. I I think he should do that. Absolutely.
He's one of the 13 fanboy people that never turned on me, you know? Yeah,
Troy's an awesome guy. You know, he was originally we were introduced because he was part of the House that he slept, and
yep.
unfortunately, he didn't make it to filming. But we did some promotional videos together, which I think or they came out really funny. I thought they were really funny. We recreated the intro to Scream. So um, instead of when he plays the killer and he's like, "What's your favorite scary movie?" I'm like, "The House that he flushed." So it was. I mean, for me, it is really great working on those little promo videos with him. So I absolutely love Troy.
So, let's talk about the house that eat flesh. Troy never got to be part of that?
Yeah. So it was like a travel arrangement thing. It was no like hard feelings on either end.
Yeah.
It was just not working out. So unfortunately, he just didn't make it to filming. And I was really disappointed. I was really excited to meet Troy. But the House of East Flesh is supposed to come out, knock on wood, next month. It was sold to a studio, so unfortunately, when those things happen, you have a lot less control because now it goes by their timeline. So, but as far as last I heard, it's supposed to come out next month.
Oh, it got sold to a studio.
Yeah, the studio did pick up the House of East.
That's good news.
Yep.
So there
I
you
know
go.
Carlos Ferber, our VP. You know, I don't know if you saw the trailer and how amazing the trailer looked. He did an awesome job putting it together, and he ended up being assistant director on the whole project. So he found a studio, and they picked it up.
Well, there you go. There's a plus for you.
Yep.
There you go. You're
I mean,
moving forward.
I don't have a very big part. Unfortunately, when we got down to filming, a lot of my scenes were cut, which it happens.
Well,
It
look, in
happens.
13
But
fanboy, you just see my picture covered in blood, you know. It's a lot less time than what you have, but it's still kind of cool.
hey, whatever
Yep,
gets you on screen, right?
there you go. You know, it's still cool, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
that's still awesome. So what films you got coming up? I know you were referencing your shirt.
So, yep, Macabre Mountain, that is slated to come out in September of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Reunion from Hell 2 should be out in the next couple of months. They're doing that premiere in Nashville, Tennessee. If anybody is interested in tickets, you can pick those tickets up now. That'll be in about 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I have Rip Part 2/3, which is in reference to Rip Van Winkle. That'll be coming out soon. That's on Wild Eye releases. I have Passages and Nexus, which will be coming out later this year. The director Alex Migo is on that one, so that one will be a good one. We got House that Eats Flesh comes out to come out
Okay.
next month.
You're going in and out on your sound.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got my headphones in. So Passages of Nexus should be out later this year.
Uh-huh.
The director on that one is Alex Migo. He's out of Texas. That one is about a serial killer who goes after e-girls. Um, and then House of East Flesh should be coming out next month. And that's pretty much all I got. Yeah, that I can think of off the top of my head.
So what's Macabre Mountain about?
So Macabre Mountain is it takes place in kind of like a haunted theme park, haunted house kind of place. because not only is it an actual haunted house, but it also has a haunted like cornfield next to it. It's an attraction called Macabre Mountain, um, and so these people show up to visit and see if they'll make it through.
And we're thinking Lydia'll make it through.
I don't know, do I don't
You
know.
you get the power to make it through. You'll make
So
it through.
let's hope so. Let's hope
If it's
so.
a cornfield, have a corn broil.
Right?
Yeah, there you go.
I
That'll take care of that.
so
You
I
can
got
sell
my
tickets to
my
the
parents.
corn.
Yeah. Hey, it's the most beautiful thing.
There you go.
Go on one of those TikTok trends, the corn songs.
So what do you think of the horror scene in 2022? Because I think we had a lot of good horror movies this year. Smile became the highest grossing of the bunch. Black Phone was good. I loved X and Pearl. In fact, if anything, X basically said screw you in the face of the rules and Scream, and finally had a final girl that broke every friggin' rule.
So out of everything you just mentioned, the only movie I saw was X.
I loved X.
I did like it a lot. I still have to watch Pearl. I
Love Pearl.
bought the Blu-ray. It's sitting in my house, and I just have not been able to watch it yet. I did get a huge compliment. There's this director called Chase Dudley. He's got a movie called Locked In coming out with Robert Muse in it, and he messaged me and he's like, I watched Pearl. He's like, and you reminded me so much of Mia Goth in that, and I'm like,
Oh, what a compliment.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, even though I hadn't seen the film, I had read everybody's reviews and especially her 6 minute long dialogue at the end, and I'm just like, man, I'm like that meant a lot for
How
me because
she's not up for a Golden Globe is beyond me. And I bet you
I
they're going to
think she's
skimp
up
on the
for.
Oscars too.
I thought she was up for an Oscar. I thought I had read that somewhere. My Or
Unless
maybe
I'm misreading something.
I don't know. I think she's got to be up for something.
Because she was incredible in Pearl, and they got a sequel to X coming out next year called
Yeah, Max.
Maxine.
Yep.
So
So
I'm looking forward to that, but it's like, yeah, that's a major compliment if you're getting compared to Mia Goth.
I couldn't believe it when he messaged me that. I was like, "Are you sure we're talking about the same thing?" Because I had auditioned for one of his films, and he's given me the. I didn't get the part, but he gave me huge compliments on my audition in that, and it really stuck with me. And I was like, okay, like, so I really respected his opinion, and he sent me that, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta watch this movie now. So,
And of course,
and then
20
I'm like, do I remind you of like a serial killer?
and here's the other thing. 2022 gave us I'd never heard of this woman until this year, and now she's all over the place, is Jenna Ortega.
You know, so she's in a Netflix movie called Yes Day,
Uh-huh.
which I think was more towards the beginning of her career. And then I was rewatching season 2 of You. I don't know if you watched that show on Netflix. Um, it's a really good book, by the way. I always recommend reading the book. But she's actually in season 2 of You. And I'm like, oh my god! I was like, is that Jenna? Oh my god, Jenna! So that like that was good. But yeah, I did watch Wednesday. Um, you know, I'm excited to see where they go with season 2. I was not overly impressed like everybody else, but I think I hold Wednesday and the Addams Family to a higher standard. I don't know. It's one of my favorites. So for me, it was like basically any other teenage drama,
I've met
but with
Lisa
Wednesday Addams.
Loring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Never had her on here yet. She gave me her number, but she's never answered yet.
Well, I
So I
know
don't know.
Jenna. when Jenna did her Wednesday dance, she did pay homage to Lisa's original dance from the '60s. So that was really awesome. That was
Yeah.
really great. She did that.
Well, Jen Ortega, what's interesting is I first saw her in Scream 5. I'm calling it Scream 5. I don't care. Um,
I would do.
yeah, but it's interesting because she stole the movie from the main cast that everybody
Mm-hmm.
watches for. And then she was in Studio 666 for a brief moment, which was one of these so bad it's good movies. And then she was in
Mm-hmm.
X, which was my favorite of the three. And it's like, what else is she going to do? I'm kind of, and she's only 20 years old. It's like,
I
when
didn't.
I
Yeah,
was 20, I was doing shit.
tiny.
Huh?
She was tiny. Like watching Wednesday, because I know Christina Ricci is shorter,
Yeah.
and I saw Jenna next to Christina, and I'm just like, man, Jenna's tiny. Like until I watched Wednesday, I didn't realize exactly how tiny she was. I'm like, oh my god, like that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I
Yeah.
would be a giant.
Do you have any well, outside those, you got any additions that are coming up or anything? What are your hopes for 2023?
I've been thinking a lot about that lately because everybody's been posting like their New Year's resolutions and what they're going to do for 2023. And I'm just like, I have no idea what I am going, what I want out of 2023. I have no idea. Um, I, I have one project that I am attached to, um, but I think it's going to be probably filming later on in 2023. But other than that, I literally have nothing going on. So I want to work on myself and make a better version of me, I think is my main goal if I had to pick one. I want to be happy. That's my biggest. I don't care about getting a role. I don't care about being famous. I don't care about any of that stuff. I want to be happy because if I'm not happy, then nothing else is gonna
You know what? That is true. Personally, I think you're very talented. I think you're very creative,
matter.
you know? Yep. No, and like I said, let's advertise these shirts. Where can people get these shirts and where can people get any other merch that you have?
So I have the awesome shirt that you're wearing. I also have a couple of two different posters. And then I do signed 8x10s if anybody ever wants an 8x10 signed. Kind of like a whole post, like a whole just like binder full of pictures I've printed to bring to cons and stuff. And basically, if you just send me a message on any social media, then I can get anything sent out to you. But that's what I got as far as merch.
You go do any other projects with Angel? You two look like you
Um,
have fun together.
as of right now, we are not attached to any of the same projects. Hopefully one day we'll get on the same project again. Um, always love to work with her. She's a great person to work with, a great person to be around. So, hopefully one day, she's still in the game right now. So, I'm really happy for her. It's great that she's doing so much because I know how much it means to her. I'm glad that she's being able to accomplish
Well, you know what? We got to get you out there more. I think you're a creative force.
that. I don't know. I always feel like I'm just trying to copy, to everybody else most of the time.
Yeah, well, you know what? I stepped back and I'm not so much bothered. Like I'm upset with some stuff that went on with 13 Fanboy, but for me, I'm not an actor or anything like that. I'm happy to do the podcast like this. It's fun. I'm gonna have them on Spotify and Apple next year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Scotty McCoy showed me about that. So I got a bunch of them right now that are scheduled, so I'm kind of like, yeah, I like that idea. Get my stuff out there better, and
Mhm.
so yeah, so that it'll give me more platforms other than YouTube and so yeah. But I really delighted to have you on here again, and I'd love to have you back next year, and I hope that 2023 brings you a lot more recognition. I hope more people value your creative impulses, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I have a
don't
few
sell
more
yourself
cosplays
short.
up my sleeve.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah,
sell
so we'll
yourself
see
short.
how those go out. Well, thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
My biggest
I appreciate
critic.
yeah. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having
I
me
would not have bought this if I didn't
today.
appreciate you.
I know I was so shocked when you messaged me about it because I know it's so expensive to ship to Canada. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh my God, like, who's not going to want to spend the money for shipping? And I feel so bad.
You did a doubt Farface challenge. That might be too much for somebody like Judy Aronson or some other people or Christy Swanson. But you did it. So
Thanks.
I didn't mind doing this. This is just my way of saying thanks, for being being willing to do that. I don't mind supporting people who've been good to me.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
How much are your pictures?
So I do find 8x10s for $10, and then usually shipping within the U.S. is like $3. I don't know how much it would be for outside of the continental U.S., but yep, $10 for a signed photo.
You know what? I'll look into that. I'll look into that. Yeah. Then I'll do a video where I show it off like I did with this one.
I'll have to make sure it's a good picture.
Huh?
I'll have to make sure it's a really good picture then.
Well, of course it'll be a good picture. Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. I always see the biggest flaws in everything, I guess.
Oh, stop. 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 If anything, if I enjoyed Reunion from Hell, but if I watch that and don't like it, I'll pretty sure I'll like you in it.
You're gonna have to be honest with me about how I do in that. So I'm gonna be coming to you for your review for that. So
Well, you know what I'll do. If it's anything like the first one, I'm in for a treat because I was actually really surprised how much I enjoyed that first one.
well, there's a lot of surprises in the second one. So you know,
There you go. There you
and
go.
with the three Nightmare on Elm Street alums, and we all did our fair share of paying homage to Nightmare on Elm Street in the film. So I hope it shines through.
Do you get to join Mark Patton with an underwear dance?
I did not get to join him with that, but I do have a funny scene with him and Lisa, and so that'll be a good one.
There you go. There you go. I've had Lisa Wilcox on here before, so
She's great.
yeah.
She's so nice. She's in the house that eats flesh.
Uh-huh.
Um, so that I gotten to work with her twice now, and I have an ongoing joke that I've worked on two films with her, and I have yet to take a selfie with her
Get
because
a selfie with her.
I was too nervous to ask. So I have the selfie I have with her is a selfie I'm trying to take of myself, but she's in the background, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Lisa Wilcox. It's just like an ongoing joke. Um, I don't know if she knows about it. It might sound a little creepy the way I just said it, but
Just walk
I
up
I
to her and say
also,
you've done two films together. I'm sure
oh, I
she'll be
know,
nice.
but I always feel like I'm bothering people, but we got some, I know there was a few people that snapped some pictures of her and I during scenes that were like really great. So, you know what? I'm glad I have the pictures I do have with her, and we had a lot of great conversations. So I will always remember that, and I will just keep my ongoing joke of not having my selfie with her, even though I worked with her twice. So
See, Skittles here came right on over, wasn't nervous at all, came right on over here.
I should have had black and white hair. I could have matched them.
Skittles was wondering if you had treats. I think
I
that's what he
do.
was wondering. Because Santa Claus found him. He didn't find me, but he found Skittles. I'm pretty sure I was better behaved than Skittles here. Skittles does not clean the apartment up.
You're gonna have to work on that this year, Skittles.
Do you have a kitty?
I don't have any pets.
Oh, yeah. Kitty likes to walk all over me while I'm sleeping. Well, you know what? It was wonderful having you come on here tonight, and
Thank
I'm
you so
more
much.
than happy to have you on again next year, and talk about your upcoming projects and what you've been working on. And I hope things look up further for you. And I hope
Thank you
you
so much.
don't have to take another hiatus, but I understand how that comes about. You know, you get tired of empty promises on some of these projects, and I get
Yeah.
it. Yep.
But you know, it's all part of life, and we gotta keep on moving forward.
Yep. Um, Give us your webpage address for people that anybody wants to order merchandise from you, like t-shirts and photos, like this cool shirt
You
I have.
you could just send me a message on Facebook, just Lydia Manson on Facebook, or Instagram is Lydia Manson 88, and then TikTok Lydia Manson 88. Or I mean, if you want to send an email, do it that way. It's Lydia Manson 88 at gmail.com.
There you go. There you go. Well, you know what? I'll be in touch. It's was wonderful having you come on here tonight. I'm glad we are able to work this out. I work at midnight tonight, so that's why scheduling was a little
So
difficult,
you're
but
fine.
we're good. We're good. I actually thought that I was supposed to work at 11 my time, and I was like, "Oh, that's right. They double booked me because
Mm.
tonight they have me booked for 11 to 7, and then for the 31st, 12 midnight to 8 in the morning." And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work.
There's a wormhole in there somewhere.
Yep. So they took me off the 11 to 7 and had me do the 12 to 8 because somebody's going to be out. So I'm covering their shift. So there we go.
I hope you have
But
a good night.
yeah. Well, I want you to keep your chin up. I think you're very creative, and I think you've got a lot to offer, and I know it can be awfully hard
Yeah.
out there. I've experienced it myself, but I don't think I have your talent. So there you go.
Okay.
Before I let you go, would you mind doing a plug for my show?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just state your name and say you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
I am Lydia Manson, and I have had the pleasure of chatting with Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
Absolutely. Check out Lydia Manson on Reunion from Hell 2 with some of the Nightmare on Elm Street folks, The House That Eats Flesh, and various other projects coming out for 2023. Yes, and reach out to her for a t-shirt. Like I said, I enjoy this t-shirt, and she's got photos. She's cool. And maybe she'll even do some photos of her in that cool wig she's got on.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I'll have
there
to
you
think about
go. Oh, that is cool. I got to admit, you have me fooled. I thought you did something because I wouldn't put it past you to do something cool like that with your hair.
my real hair is like up to here, so I would have.
I know, I know you got dark hair, but I thought
Yeah.
I don't know, I thought maybe did you grow it out or something like that?
I almost put on one of my blonde wigs, but I was like, yeah, I haven't worn this one in a while.
I like that. I like that's cool.
Well, I'm glad it worked out.
There you go. Keep being creative.
I will try.
Absolutely. God bless you, Lydia, and happy
Thank
New
you.
Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Absolutely. You take care.
You too. Have a good night.
You too. Bye bye.